if you have not been using herbs, you don't use leaf, and you have them around you, you can seek, seek knowledge, ask questions. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Oluwafunmilola, and welcome to another conversation with me. It is few days to the end of the year, and I'm reflecting over some things I've learned this year, 2023. And one of it is the fact that this year I've learned to appreciate green plants. I have paid more attention to leaves than I have ever done. I discovered that even though it is not intentional, I had reservations towards the use of herbs, use of leaf, use of anything, black soap. I just don't want to go near those things because there's this part of me that was not just used to it, and the part of me also, based on my upbringing, that has attached some kind of darkness or kind of evil, kind of, so the use of all these things, like when you are bringing leaf together, you are doing juju, you are trying to, so even though I did not realize that, but there's this part of me that was in that angle. But this year, I don't know what happened, my season changed for me, and I began to appreciate leaves. I began to learn about it, and I discovered that I've changed. I discovered that these leaves are actually very helpful, very beneficial, and there's nothing wrong with it. You can use it as a Christian. It does not destroy my faith. It does not make me less of a believer. If you have watched my previous video, I shared about the Asunwon leaf. I shared about the Asunwon leaf, and I shared about the people that have used that leaf and for treating skin problems, eczema, pimples, ringworms, whatever, and they've used it and it has worked. Like, whenever they come back to tell me I use that Asunwon leaf and it's worked, I'm always wondering, wow, God, you are great. You have given us everything we need on this earth. God did not just create us and just live and then he left us helpless. Everything we need for food, everything our body needs, he already made all those things. Thank God for science, thank God for advancements, thank God for technology, thank God for everything. But there's still a lot in our natural, natural leaf, and they are even, if you have access to it, a lot. Some of us spend a lot of money on drugs, spend money on this, spend money on that. You want to look good naturally, you spend a lot of money. You want to look good, and then you have to buy a lot of creams. You can look good naturally, you can glow naturally. So this year I've learned to pay attention to natural things, natural products, and I'm so grateful to God for it. My husband had measles earlier this year. I didn't know how to treat it, I didn't know what to do. At first I was just talking to God, what should I do about this? How should we treat this? He went to the hospital, and then he was told that it's because he's aging, it's because he's getting close to 40, and that's why, because the thing started as measles, so just some reactions on his body, that's why the thing is there, and then you should reduce his sugar intake. He just gave him some, doctors really have things to say. Then when he got to me and he told me, I'm like, this thing is not you approaching any 40. Sweetheart, you're not even yet 40, you're not even near 40 yet. It's still like this. So he was given some drug, and then my husband bought some creams from the pharmacy, and then he began to rub it on his skin. And I'm like, I'm not satisfied with this thing you are rubbing on your skin. Something in my mind is telling me that this thing you are rubbing is not a solution. It's not a solution to this thing. We didn't even know that it was measles because it didn't look like measles balls when it started. So at a point, I just went out to get bitter leaf. I got bitter leaf, I got palm oil. So I rubbed bitter leaf together, the juice, I mixed it with palm oil. We began to put it on his body. It was not until we began to use that bitter leaf treatment that it began to get better. Now he has used drugs from the doctor. He has applied all these cream in tubes. In fact, I said, sweetheart, I don't think these things are going to work. The way I'm looking at this thing, so at the point, it's just like, okay, sweetheart, okay, come and put bitter leaf and palm oil, because my husband is too, she wouldn't want to just be putting all these things on his body. And then we put ewuro and palm oil, and that was how the thing began to heal up. And we were like, wow, what if we have been using this from day one? The thing will have just, but thank God. So that made me to appreciate even God much more. Like, look at the amount he has spent in the hospital. Look at, to get bitter leaf, we just pluck it in my neighborhood. We pluck bitter leaf, put palm oil that we already have at home. It didn't cost us anything. But of course, you know what, palm oil now, we don't want it to stay in the house, so we are being extra careful, which if we are using drugs, you don't have to be extra careful, now. But I'm grateful for the use of those, the knowledge of those herbal treatments using leaf and everything. So that is one of the things that I've learned this year. I remember this year also, someone very close to me had malaria, like a very serious one. It was just down, and then we were thinking, what should we do? So someone just recommended, why don't you give him June 12? The leaf is called June 12. I don't know why it's called June 12. If you know it, you can maybe tell us why it's called June 12. So they used that June 12 leaf. The guy drank the water. And then after about 3 hours, he began to sweat. And when someone begins to sweat, someone that had malaria begins to sweat, you know that alafia today, like the body is already well, the body is already healed. That was how the guy became well, by just the use of this leaf. Now, I'm a young lady. I've not been around for so long, but it just made me to begin to think that there's a way our mothers then, there's a way they handle such things, such, illness when they come up. And it's just the things that God has given us. From what we read in Genesis 1:29, the Bible says that God has given to man every seed bearing fruits, every tree bearing fruits, every seed bearing plants. God gave them to us for food. So food there is not just what goes into our mouth, even the one we use for our bodies. So, we live in a time and in a world where everything is artificial. We wear makeup, we wear wigs, we use different whitening soaps just to look good. I'm not saying those things are not okay, but it is much more better if we stick to, if we are informed about the use of natural products, the use of natural things around us that can enhance our health, enhance our beauty. If you have not been using herbs, you don't use leaf, and you have them around you, you can seek knowledge, ask questions about them. Don't abuse them too. Don't just pluck and use anyhow. Have knowledge, know the basis of how it works. It will save you money. It will also do what? Like, I was discussing with a friend that I would like to have a garden in my house, just have somewhere to plant, at least vegetables, plant vegetables around the house. I should be able to just go to my garden, pluck some fresh tomatoes, without look. Instead of every time you run to the market, you stock up food in the freezer every time. Well, maybe I should have been born in the but thank God, I know there is a reason God is putting these desires in my heart, even at this stage and at this season of my life. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. God bless you as you do so. Goodbye.